What's up guys, MikeCoco back here bringing you guys a new video on the Explore Floor 7 tutorial. I was recently able to clear all of Floor 6 and decided that I wanted to share my setup because it is kind of interesting as from a free-to-play standpoint. The setup is kind of inconsistent because of the intricacies with Floor 6 and how the stuns and silences work. But the fact that it is doable with uh, only free to play heroes and gear, I think it's really interesting. So I'm just gonna go right into it because I feel like this is gonna be a really long video. So first off, we're gonna set the formation, and the formation I'll be using, I'm gonna be swapping between two formations. This is the first formation I'll use for the first few floors, and then I'll swap over to the second formation. So the general idea behind floor 6 is that you need a shielder, whether this is Ella with a costume or sword main. Obviously Ella is better because she has lower fury and she has what's that thing called, she doesn't draw aggro like the sword main does, so that means your Michael actually will draw aggro most of the time rather than sword main. And that's basically the general idea behind floor 6. You need to have a shielder because the boss deals a huge amount of damage, and if you don't have a shield, he'll pretty much wipe you out in the first 2 turns, I would say. Now, the next thing that is really important is that the floor 6 has a lot of stunners and silencers. Like you saw right there, my entire team was literally silenced, and that's why you have to bring in dispellers. You don't have to bring in specific dispellers such as Remy or Ione. You can, if you get lucky enough, try to use heroes that can proc their weapons and dispel, like Michael or PA. But of course, that's not going to be 100% reliable. As you can see now, I'm like already stunned and silenced, which is really frustrating. Um, but that's part of the reason why the setup is inconsistent as free to play, is because you don't really have a complete dispeller. Anak as Myth can help with that because she is immune to silences and stuns, just like Remy is for like the first 5 turns. And if you give her a high active dispel sword, then she will basically act as a free dispeller, which is pretty decent. But Anak's damage is far lower than Prince Arthur's, because Prince Arthur's skills naturally just boost his attack, while Anak has to actually use her skill in order to deal damage. So that's pretty much it. And of course, you need your typical Fury Thieves. I'm running 2 right now, Zhao and Claire, but Claire is absolutely not necessary. I see a lot of people saying that Grudge is necessary for floor 6, and I kind of agree, but I don't completely agree, because while it can be helpful, it is not a requirement for floor 6. And in fact, I've actually cleared the majority of floor 6 without Claire. I actually find her kind of expendable on floor 6 because her single target Fury steal is abysmal, so I see no reason why we should keep her around. And if you toy around with the initiative settings, you can actually in fact get your shield to run on first turn without Grudge. I actually spent days tweaking this initiative and this formation so that it works. If you guys didn't know already, the order that your heroes use your skills in are actually dependent on both initiative and the formation, like the placement of the formation. So let's say if I move Michael to here and Prince Arthur to where Michael is, the initiative might not still work. So that's just something interesting to know. Now, the general idea for the first floor, 6-1 to 6-3, is essentially shield and deal damage and don't get stunned or silenced. If you can clear 6-1 without losing any heroes, you can absolutely finish up to 6-3 without losing any heroes. All you like I mentioned before, all you need is dispel, and all you need is shielder, which is not too hard. The only kind of inconsistent part is things like this, where your entire team gets stunned or silenced. That's annoying and really frustrating to deal with, but it comes with the setup. Now, in this case, I think I might be dead because my sword main wasn't able to use his skill because he was silenced. So, typically, if you find that scenario where you don't have your shield up, I would highly recommend withdrawing and then retrying again. On average, I would say most floors take around 2 to 3 retries. The hard part for this setup is 6-4 6-9, and a little bit of 6-10. 6-4 is generally what I like to call the gatekeeper's floor, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that because we're going to head there really soon. But essentially, that's pretty much it for the first 3 floors. It's not too difficult. The gear that I'm using on these heroes is, I will say, it's a little bit expensive. It's I think Claire is running S2 rank 1 at like level 20 on average, maybe level 20, except for the chest piece. And my Michael's gear is also kind of high level, but everything else is either Radiant or Season 2 rank 1 at level 10. Even though this video is coming out after the patch, it is still using all the gear pre-patch, so I haven't upgraded to S2 R2. I think except for Michael. The funny thing is, I actually recorded this video yesterday, but the video was corrupted, so I actually couldn't retry Explore because, you know, obviously you need soul gems to retry Explore, so I couldn't restart all over again. And I actually thought that, you know, the video wasn't corrupted, and I already upgraded Michael's armor, but I only upgraded his ring and his chest piece. So technically speaking, you can still think of it as S2 rank 1, because upgrading 2 pieces to S2 rank 2 is actually worse, I think, on average than a full complete S2 rank 1 set. But regardless of that, we've hit 6-4, and here's where the change comes in. So the interesting part with 6-4 is that Remy is a cleanser and dispels the buffs on the enemy side, and she works the same way in PvE. And that is the reason why you need, I need to change gear for this setup actually. That is the reason why you need, what was I going to say? That's why you need the shield, because the shield can actually save you a lot of times. And why is my inventory so full? Jeez. So I'm going to change up this initiative or formation really quick. And where is it? And this is the point where I find Claire expendable, so I'm just gonna let her die, because I actually think it's part of the AI settings, and that's why you need her to die. Okay, so 6-4. So I'm gonna share the initiative really quick. This is like the initiative I've been working mindlessly on. It took a super long time to do, but it works. I can confirm this works. I've tried it 4 or 5 times already. I think I've made it to 7-1, so it definitely works. It just is inconsistent. That's the only problem with it. So it will take a little bit long, and that is it. Okay, so the general idea behind 6-4 is that Remy is going to dispel your shield all the time. So essentially, as soon as you get your shield up, she's going to dispel it. Now, the benefit to this is that if you... Okay, so here we got extremely lucky, and I want to show you guys why I got extremely lucky there, if I think that run goes well. So the general idea is that Remy dispels the shield. Now, because the enemies attack sequentially, it does mean that when they attack, they think that the shield is still up, so when they hit, it will actually miss and it won't deal any damage to you, and that way you can still remain alive. Now, the thing to note is that the number of mobs you have left, aside from this heart thing and the black guy over there, depends on, like, the order of their attack depends on the number of mobs that are left. And I think actually I might lose this. Okay, so I think I'm gonna lose it. I'll just tell you guys why I think the first hit was extremely crucial. So the order of the mobs attacking is dependent on the total number of mobs. If there are only the black guy and the heart guy there, once Remy dispels your shield, the black guy will actually deal damage to you. It will not miss. If there is even one mob left, like let's say this guy is still here, as soon as Remy dispels the shield, this black guy will hit a miss. Which is really important, because if he misses, you basically don't take any damage. But as soon as this guy is gone, you take full damage, and this black guy actually deals a huge amount of damage. Much more than this guy does. And I think I just died again because Sword Main was silenced. So the black guy is pretty much your priority to kill. Now with low AI, it's kind of hard to target. Oftentimes Prince Arthur will target Remy instead of the black guy. So this is the floor where you have to make constant retries on. And one thing to note is that I have no idea why, but Prince Arthur will always, or so at least sometimes, he'll target this guy instead of this guy over here, which makes no sense to me. But that's just how it is sometimes. And here I think I'm probably dead because Remy will dispel the shield and this guy will not miss, and I'm dead pretty much. Okay, I'm not dead. Interesting. Very close to death, I would say. So this is the floor where it's kind of required to have high level gear because this guy just deals so much damage that you kind of just have to brute force your way and tank all of the hits. But now I think I'm dead because yeah, they all got stunned and this guy's gonna hit. Zhao's gonna die. Wait, Zhao didn't die. Oh, it's because there's an attack debuff, right? Okay, I'm dead anyway. PA did not proc the sword. So as you can see, this floor is extremely frustrating to deal with because the lack of your shield being up kind of takes away your whole advantage in this setup. And of course, if you have PA at a higher level, a sword at a high level active, definitely use it. I still haven't inscribed it to a higher level yet, so that's why it doesn't proc that often. But you can reduce the inconsistencies by increasing the active level on his sword. So ideally what you want on this floor is for your Prince Arthur to target this black guy here. Sometimes I find that if you have like a clear way for your mobs, Prince Arthur will actually target this guy, but that's not always the case, so it's a little bit frustrating. And sometimes what I find is that like if the black guy kills Claire, for example, using her skill or its skill, I don't know. Okay, so I think he critted there. So if Claire dies and Zhao remains alive, I think Prince Arthur will draw aggro and it will attempt to essentially hit the black guy because it kind of detects that the black guy is a threat to your team because it actually killed one of your team members, and Prince Arthur will actually go and target him. Otherwise, he's pretty much going to be dumb and just target Remy all the time. So it does take quite a few retries. This floor and probably 6-9 take the most retries. And okay, so there we killed all the mobs, and so that's why Claire died on the first turn. But this is actually useful because I think they will actually target this guy over here now. Okay, there we go. So that's all that we needed for it to work. So essentially, I think I'm right. As soon as Claire dies, the black guy will get targeted automatically. So at this point, all you need to do is pretty much guarantee or hope and pray that RNG does not screw with you and does not stun lock your entire team. That's the main problem with shield. Oh crap, I forgot. Shield's not up. Yeah, so probably dead now, actually. Yeah. So the main thing to note is that with the shield up, you don't have any way to trigger your active procs. So like your white rings. So that's why I recommend bringing in Anak for those situations. If you just find yourself dying way too many times because of stuns, bringing Anak with her myth skill, I would try her in this setup, but I just don't have her right now, so that's unfortunate. Now, okay, so again, all the mobs are dead, so Claire's probably dead as well, unless, okay, so Claire's not dead, so hopefully this guy gets targeted now. Now, obviously, my Michael right now is using a Radiant Sword, so he's not dealing too much damage. Obviously, if he had like a higher level sword, I feel like, okay, so we're dead again because didn't use a shield. If he had a higher level sword, he might be able to. Actually, we're not dead. Wait, are we dead? Yeah, we're dead. So actually, with a higher level sword, I feel like he might be able to one-shot kill. Oh, wait, did I forget to retreat? Oh no, I didn't. I kind of scared myself there. So if you had a higher level active sword on PA, I feel like he could potentially one-shot the black guy if he gets the chance to actually target him. So If you can't already tell, this is why this floor is so damn frustrating. It's just super annoying to deal with. 6-9 is a little bit better because you don't have to deal with the removal of your shield. You just have to deal with, okay, no proc. You just have to deal with the magic dot. Now, my Prince Arthur is at level 105. That's completely not necessary. You can have it at level 100. The only reason mine is at 105 is because I wanted to get some EXP out of tower, so you could level up. Because right now, my entire team is maxed, so essentially getting no EXP for farming tower. So, okay, this is already looking pretty bad. Because my dispellers are all stunned. Now, because of this setup's inconsistencies, I actually do recommend only running Explore to the max once a week, because your score is only dependent on your peak run. So it doesn't really matter if you manage to get to 7-1 every single day. It's generally like faster just to like, what I'm doing now is just I'm literally hitting 7-1 and then I just stop doing Explore altogether, because floor 6 is super inconsistent and it takes way too long. So hopefully Prince Arthur or the Sword Main actually tries to target that black guy there. Even the what's it called? Attack debuff will help a little bit. And oh god. They stunned. Oh no, they silenced. Ugh. I had a lot more luck doing this yesterday. And no proc. Perfect. Sometimes I just want to grab Lowe's RNG by the neck and strangle it. It's so damn annoying. Alright, please target that black guy. That's pretty much all I'm asking for when I'm using this setup. And PA stunned. Zhao's probably dead. I'm not sure if that was a crit or not. It would be a lot easier if Zhao had Season 2 Rank 2 gear, or even Radiant. Actually, no, I take that back about Radiant. I'm not sure if Radiant's better than full S2R1 because of the percentage difference, but Season 2 Rank 2 should help, I think. Because that way he'll be able to tank far longer than what he's doing right now. And everyone's stunned. Really useless again. I can't wait for the day that I'm able to get rid of this floor. And I'm dead again. Sword is silenced. No shield is up. So, you guys pretty much have to take my word for it right now, even though it doesn't look like I'm actually getting any success. Just a lot of unfortunate stuns and silences is just destroying this entire thing. And again, the silence or the stun. If Arthur doesn't proc, we're dead again. Okay, he procs, luckily, but I think we might be dead because the black guy was not targeted. Hopefully Clear dies. If Clear dies, it's pretty much... If Clear dies and Zhao remains alive, we're in a good position. To be honest, Clear pretty much has to die on this floor, otherwise it doesn't really work. Okay, for the first time, we don't get all perma-silence and perma-stunned. So I think we might actually be able to do this. Alright, so this is looking pretty decent right now. Nope. I have no idea why I didn't target the black guy. I feel like this is like already the 20th try. Why did I have so much more success doing it yesterday? Please don't kill me. Just target a black guy, please. And yeah, often you'll find yourselves praying to RNG. Because this floor, I'm pretty sure everyone universally hates this floor. Oh my god, again. This is actually getting really annoying. I feel like I should just restart the video at this point. It's like extremely strange why Arthur always tries to proc this guy, but he never goes for this guy when he's given the chance. Especially when you consider he's like literally right in front of him. So I don't know what's up with that. It's really strange. Okay, if we don't tank this one, pretty sure I have to restart again. And everyone's stunned. Perfect. And Zhao's dead. It's not going well at all. Okay, might have some progress. If black guy kills Claire, you can target black guy dies, and we're all good. Alright. So now, what do we need? Need Michael to target black guy, or at least Prince Arthur to target black guy, hopefully. See, like, I don't understand why PA never targets the black guy. He's always given the chance, he just never does it. Very rarely, like on that first try we did, he targeted him. But then other than that, never did it once. And great, he's silenced, so that means we're pretty much dead, because the skill animation takes too long. So the one time he targets him, we can't even kill him. That's why getting a high level Radiant Sword really useful, and gearing up Prince Arthur to the max also really useful. And I don't know what the hell Zhao's doing. He's like targeting guys all the way back there. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned this yet or not, but these two guys are, well, this guy is immune to magic damage and this guy is immune to physical damage. So that's why you saw Zhao hit a 1. And sometimes if you see Clara use her skill on this guy, that's why you're going to see like 0 or a 1 as well. So if they can actually target this guy, we might be able to make it this time. And of course they don't. But I think we can out-tank it. Yes, we can. Okay, so there we go, finally. A lot of retries, but that's pretty much necessary for this floor. So Claire is now dead. We won't need her anymore, so we can move on to 6-5. I'm going to switch to the second setup. Which is this setup. It utilizes Khalid instead, and this is the initiative. Now, I'm not really sure whether or not Khalid is actually useful here. I only placed him here because I gave him a dispel sword so that he can provide additional dispelling. Because after 6-4, pretty much all the floors are very similar to the first 3 floors, 6-1 and 6-2 and 6-3. It's just your typical stun, silence, and you just need a shield. The only difference is that, you know, they have more damage, they have more HP. I put in Khalid because sometimes I notice that, like, if I'm getting stunned or silenced too often, then Zhao doesn't steal enough Fury. But in many cases, I'm actually at 1000 Fury, as you can see right now. So it's up to you whether you want to bring in another damage dealer or not. Um, oh god. So yeah, entire team is silenced. Don't bother. Just retreat and retry again. Um, I feel like bringing in a damage dealer could be useful, especially on 6-10. But I'm not entirely sure yet. And the rest of the, yeah, like I mentioned, the rest of the floor is pretty much the same thing. It's not too difficult. 6-4 is like the gatekeeper floor. It's kind of like the 5-8 equivalent. If you guys remember 5-8, it's the one with the Mitra, and it's super annoying to deal with because um, for some reason she's just way more powerful than all the other uh, floors. I mean bosses. So hopefully we actually get some damage in. Right now we're only at turn 3 and we basically hit the equivalent of one Michael proc because he still hasn't been able to use his skill. And right, one thing I wanted to note is that the sword that you use for your sword main, it's up to you whether you want to use a dispel sword or if you want to use a massive sword. I feel like they're probably equivalent. I personally prefer the massive sword because it means that if I get, so let's say I have my shield up, and if I get stunned the next turn and I can't use my skill, the shield actually lasts for 2 turns. So with a massive sword, my shield strength is just 75% higher compared to compared to a dispel sword, which is why I find it useful for like situations like this. My sword main is kind of like can't really do anything, so a sword, massive sword, can be helpful in protecting against shield or protecting against attacks. So that's why I personally prefer massive. And Jesus, my entire team literally got stunned again. Today is not a good day to do this, is it? Extremely unlucky. So it's up to you. Again, dispel sword. Obviously, like a dispel sword might bring. I feel like the problem with the dispel sword is that if you dispel, then you pretty much don't have a shield anyway. So you're kind of dead already. Uh, so that's why I feel like having a dispel sword on sword main is not too useful, and I would rather have it on one of your debuff or your cleansers instead. And in many cases, I actually prefer it if Khalid is actually silenced, because it means that he's able to proc his weapon proc, and I'm able to cleanse myself. Because oftentimes, Khalid, he's a single target Fury Thief, but he doesn't really deal that much damage. And to be honest, I feel like you could replace him with maybe Tree Ant. Um, but if he were, let's say, unstunned and unsilenced, that means he would use his skill to gain Fury, but we're pretty much at 1,000 Fury all the time. So it's kind of unnecessary to do that weapon or that steal. So I feel like sometimes it actually is better if Khalid gets silenced. So sometimes I may actually replace um, Khalid with another hero. And okay, yeah, so that was decent. That was like what, 3 retries for that floor. Typically it shouldn't take this long. Yesterday, the entire time I took to finish a floor was around 45 minutes for the entire floor 6, and I feel like 6-10 will take another god knows how long. But how did I not kill? Seriously? Jeez. Sorry, if I die now because that guy... Okay. Thank God. And like I was saying before, I feel like Khalid could be replaced with Tree Ant Elder. I'm not completely, like, I haven't made my decision on that yet because Khalid's myth skill is pretty much useless for PvE. Because the myth skill is only useful for PvP. And Tree Ant's Phoenix myth skill does allow him to survive pretty much one more turn. The only problem is that he is a ranged hero, so I'm a little bit worried about how strong his defense is. I feel like that's, like, it could be a problem for him, but I'm not completely sure. But Prince Arthur, I feel like, is definitely one of the key points to this setup, along with Michael, of course. But for the ability for Prince Arthur to cleanse and target specific heroes is extremely powerful in my opinion. So I doubt you can find another replacement for him for this setup. Khalid is definitely like interchangeable. Zhao, I I like Zhao for his Fury Steel, but I'm not only using him for Fury Steel, I'm also using him for Spear activation chance. So you could possibly replace him with another Fury Thief. I'm not sure. I feel like Zhao is a bit more versatile than other Fury Thieves because if he's silenced, he can still use his weapon proc, and I gave him a Fury Steel weapon, a spear, so he can still steal Fury while silenced, while someone like Khalid cannot. So I feel like that's the major difference. Um, you could potentially try replacing him, but I'm not sure how well that will go yet. But I do have thoughts on replacing Khalid. On one of these floors, I think yesterday I swapped out Khalid for Ione on one of the floors after 6-4, and it worked out pretty well because I found myself getting stunned way too often, and the weapon proc definitely helped. The advantage to Party Ione is that she has a guaranteed, or she gets a 20% activation chance to her weapon proc. So if you give her a dispel staff, she's pretty much, as long as she's silenced, she's pretty much going to provide a free cleanse, which is pretty useful, especially for cases like this where you get like triple stun. So this actually might have been the floor that I forgot. I didn't know Raguel actually stunned. So for floors like this, and I think another one, it might have been I think for 6-9 as well, I also used Ione, and it actually worked out pretty well. So this is sort of interchangeable. And what else is there? I mean, there's pretty much nothing interesting to say until we at least get to 6-9, because that's the what I find the hard part. And actually, I totally forgot about Ione. I think using Ione might actually make 6-10 or 6-9 a lot easier. 6-10 now might be a problem, a bigger problem rather. So he did. Oh my god, he seriously didn't proc. All right, if you do want higher consistency, definitely recommend getting Prince Arthur's sword to a higher level, because this is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. And not only that, he'll deal more damage too, so it's like a win-win. And Radiant, I think Radiant is already like the last level for tower equipment, so you might as well. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. Alright, so there we go. 6-8, I don't remember what 6-8 is. Who is it? Is it Claire? Claire? I don't think she's stunned. I mean, we could try running Ione. I don't know if it's successful or not, because I've been using Khalid most of the time. I only recently discovered using Ione, because what I noticed was that in 6-4 I actually tried using Ione, but because Remy always dispels your cleanses, I found her cleanse to be pretty much useless. Like, whenever she used her skill, it was literally wasting Fury, because not only would she target the hero with the lowest HP, meaning she couldn't cover the entire board, but because Remy would just remove the 2-turn cleanse anyway, so it was actually better for her to set her skill off and just cleanse with her normal weapon. So that's why I stopped using Ione after 6-4. But yesterday I found that on some floors she can actually be useful because of her ability to kind of free her teammates, and because she has like a kind of a built-in cleanse. If she doesn't get stunned, it's a lot more consistent in my opinion, and definitely more useful because after 6-4 you don't have many what's it called, bosses that remove buffs, so your 2-turn cleanse actually lasts 2 turns and you're not just wasting Fury. So I actually might consider bringing in Ione for 6-10 as well. Previously I was gonna go and pick DQK and use her instead, Um, but let's see how it goes with Ione. And okay, so 6-9. This is the part where it gets kind of frustrating because Sarah, as you know, it deals magic damage. So when she hits, she leaves a magic dot on your heroes. Now, if your team gets silenced or if they're unable to get cleanse, situations like this, the magic dot can actually deal quite a lot of damage. And if you don't cleanse it away, it can potentially one-shot your team. I think on like the third or fourth turn, if you don't cleanse the magic dot that she attacks with, you're gonna insta die from the dot. So it's really important that you are able to cleanse it. And on this floor specifically, I feel like having the 2-turn cleanse is really useful because it means that if you get stunned or if you get silenced, you're not gonna die to magic dot essentially. So pretty useful. Definitely would go with Ione on this floor, but it can be doable with Khalid. It just takes a little bit more retries because you have to guarantee that these guys don't get stunned, so you don't get, so you're always able to cleanse away the magic dot. And yeah, it's pretty quick actually. There we go. Okay, so I might actually try this setup for 6-10 instead of using Khalid. I was previously using Khalid for 6-10, but to be honest, I'm actually not sure why I used him because his damage is low, and like I mentioned before, I always find myself hitting 1,000 Fury anyway, even without Khalid. So, I mean, I don't really know why I was using him, but hopefully this will reduce the inconsistencies because what I noticed on 6-10 is that you simply just need a huge amount of DPS. If you don't have enough DPS, you simply won't be able to make it past the floor, which is the main problem when using Khalid, is because Khalid's kind of just like wasting a spot. He doesn't deal any major damage, and if Ione can bring in her cleanse, it does mean that she's able to kind of reduce the inconsistencies in terms of DPS. So that's why I like having her around. And typically speaking, you want to hit around half bar HP on your 5th turn. Otherwise, you're gonna experience some trouble. And okay, so we're all stunned and silenced here, so it's pretty much a good idea to retreat. If you end up getting silenced or stunned on your first, like if your main cleansers are stunned or silenced on a specific turn, it's a good idea to just retreat and retry because there's no point going further because you're probably gonna die either due to lack of DPS or you're just gonna, you know, die to the next hit. So, oh, are you kidding me? All right, things like that. This is called Legion RNG, people. Stun, silence, all their heroes. It's freaking ridiculous. And here, I feel like Anak could actually be better than Ione if you give her a high level active, because at least she will never get stunned and silenced from that kind of crap. So hopefully this works this time. Please proc. Yes, thank you. Alright, so not looking that bad at this point. Turn 2 with 200k damage is not terrible. I mean, oh Jesus, really? Again, all stunned. I think today's just bad luck. I should not have made this video today, to be honest. And one really funny thing, when I first got to 6-10, I'm like, why is Kamal so small? Look how tiny she is. She takes a 4x4 tile, but she's smaller than the mobs. I don't know if that's like a glitch or something, but I expected her to be bigger, especially considering she's a god. You think that she's bigger. It'd be interesting to see how Kamal, like the hero Kamal versus enemy Kamal, it would look like on the screen. it'd be interesting to see the difference, size difference at least. Okay, so for some reason, are you kidding me? Even with the black guy gone, we got perma stunned again. Oh, it's important to note that you can kind of tell the range of the skill. You can see it's across, so that's why I'm getting stunned all the time. And again, this guy's physical immune, so there's really, I don't know why Prince Arthur is trying to hit him, to be honest. And oh, one other thing to note is that oftentimes, because Kamal, I think Kamal still uses her original 250 Fury skill. So if you manage to use up all her Fury, she will actually attempt to normal attack you because she's out of Fury herself and she can't actually use her skill. So if you run someone like Khalid, who steals Fury every single turn, you might notice that sometimes. And again, no idea why they're targeting that guy, but this is actually looking not terrible, I want to say. Turn 6 and we're more than halfway, which is not terrible. If Michael would stop targeting this guy, I don't know why. He would be able to hit like 70 million, but I don't know why he wants to target this thing here. Probably because the stuns, but even then, it's like, well, what are you doing? AI is dumb, like always. So it looks like we should be able to do it. I'm finding myself down a little bit on Fury with Ione, so maybe I won't try Ione. Have you noticed there? I was already at 240 Fury, so I might actually try running without Ione and see how it goes. Looks like I was wrong, and the battle took too long. If the battle was a bit shorter, we wouldn't need that much Fury, but because the battle took so long, I think it was kind of a requirement. So let's see. Please don't. Okay, so if Michael procs, we're pretty much good. Yep. If there was only a way to enter battle without a myth skill and become completely immune to controls, that'd be amazing. Okay, now it's actually looking a lot kind of. Oh god, are you kidding me? Oh yes. So in that case, that's a scenario where I actually want Khalid to be silenced and not unsilenced, because if he were unsilenced, he would have just stole Fury and the entire team was like immobile. But he was silenced, so he procced his weapon and then kind of cleansed everyone. So that's kind of like the RNG kind of helping you sometimes. Very occasionally, they'll attempt to help you. So right now it's actually looking a lot better. Turn 4 and we're already down to 3 bars of HP left, which is a lot better than I would expect, to be honest. Now, last time I said that, I actually jinxed myself and I got the entire team silenced. So I don't know if I should be saying this. And perfect cross silence. Of course. And okay, I really don't want to say anything. I'm like super fearful. Please don't. Really? Oh, he actually broke through the shield. Okay, so we pretty much have to kill him now. Otherwise, I don't think we can take another hit. Alright, I think we might die here, actually. Michael hasn't used a skill in forever, so I feel like that's definitely a problem. Oh god. Please don't kill my team. Seriously? That was super close. It's just that Michael never actually got to use a skill because of the stupid thing. And yeah, that's another problem with the setup, is that Michael's pretty much your main damage dealer. Of course, like I could bring in someone like DQK if I had her. But alright, let's see how this goes. Already looking pretty bad. Michael's stunned, or I mean silenced already, so no major damage here. I mean, And on this floor, it's up to you whether, like, even if you don't kill the black guy, it doesn't really matter too much in my opinion, because generally speaking, your shield's not going to go away. Of course, if you target the black guy, it could be useful to help you survive a little bit longer, but it doesn't really matter too much in my opinion for this floor. Alright, it's looking like a bust right now. We're already on turn 4, it barely did anything, so yeah, I'm gonna retreat. And of course, higher gear definitely makes this a lot easier. Now that new gear has been released, I feel like maybe some of the inconsistencies will be gone. At least you deal more damage, so you take less turns dealing with RNG, but who knows. Radiant Spears are hard to farm, am I right? Alright, we got a slow start. Only 100k damage on turn 2, but if we don't get... If our cleansers... Essentially, you don't really care if your non-cleansers don't get silenced or not, because they kind of like free themselves. Now, it's looking kind of bad because Michael hasn't used a skill in forever, which is kind of a problem. And the funny thing is... Okay, yeah, this is looking like a bust as well. I feel like this video has been going on for like an hour already. Which is, I don't know, it's frustrating because it didn't take this long yesterday. Oh my god, again? Well, at least Michael uses his skill. I'd rather have that. Because at least he can free some people and deal like more damage. Yeah, I actually think bringing a DQK is not a bad idea because she also boosts melee attack by like 40%, I think, for 10 turns, which is definitely enough to finish Kamau. If you can't clear her within 10 turns, I think you're dead anyway, so yeah. And another setup that I've been working on, I think it's has more potential for floor 7, but it could work on floor 6, I'm not too sure. Would be to use gun shield as a setup. I'm not sure how well it would work, but it's kind of a necessity for floor 7 at least, because on floor 6 I don't feel like sword main is extremely good, because they have heroes, or they have enemies that perma silence that you cannot cleanse away, so if your swordman gets aggroed, then you're pretty much dead because he can't shield. While gun shields regardless of your position in the formation, so you could like put her far away from the position of highest enmity, or if you know which heroes are going to draw most aggro. Typically it's going to be your strongest damage dealers, but you can... Oh, seriously? So close. Oh my god. Ugh. Can you guys just take my word for it that this setup will get to 7-1? Because I don't want to keep retrying this anymore. I'll try this some other day. This is ridiculous. Holy moly. Oh my god. Stop. Please cleanse everyone. Holy. Thank you, Khalid. You did something useful for once. And Michael starts targeting that guy as well. I don't know why they keep doing that. Who programmed the AI? I don't understand. They love to target this guy, but they never target this guy. Like, why? Why would you not do that? Again? Okay, you know what? That's... Nope. Noping out of that one. So, while this setup works, you can obviously tell that it's Level of consistency is -10 out of 10. Pretty much just pray to RNG and hopefully it doesn't screw you over. God. I'd rather have Michael stunned, to be honest. At least that means you can use his skill instead of, doing nothing. Dealing like 15 mil damage. Which is pretty abysmal if you ask me. Ah, thank you. Alright, that's looking a little bit better. Turn 3, 6 bars HP. This looks doable. Alright, this definitely looks doable now. Please. RNG, don't fail me now. No, really? Alright, Prince Arthur has to proc here, otherwise. Thank you. Yeah, so if you have a strong damage dealer, definitely bring her in. I actually tried bringing in Lucida, but I find her to be not too useful because her damage is like it's not that great without crit. Because crit essentially doubles your damage, and Lucida can't crit by herself. So that's why you would want someone like DQK who has self crit, or any other hero that provides crit alongside their usual damage. Okay, please don't die on turn 8 and we can clear this. Oh god, I think the shield's giving away. Oh my god, really? Ugh. Why was this so difficult today? Yesterday wasn't even that bad. I don't even think yesterday was that bad, honestly. What's wrong with today? Like I can't even get past turn 8. I'm not sure why. Could it be that I changed Michael's gear, part of it to S2 rank 2, that I just can't finish it anymore? Because full S2 rank 1 is better than partial S2 rank 1 and partial S2 rank 2. I only upgraded it because I thought I finished recording the video, but apparently corrupted. And I don't know what happened. Sorry guys. Interesting thing is that his power actually went up, but as you know, power is completely useless stat, Doesn't portray actual power accurately at all. And yeah, the problem with this is that Kamal, like I can already tell what's going on. Kamal's hitting in a cross, I think. I'm not sure. Is she supposed to hit in a 3x3? Oh no, she hits in an infinite cross, right? So when she hits in an infinite cross, essentially the problem is like Sword Main draws all the aggro. So when he infinite crosses, she's gonna target Sword Main rather than someone like Michael. So that's why she's able to like silence or stun, or I mean stun everyone in that infinite cross there. Now, if this were Ella instead, this wouldn't happen because did we get perma silence? Okay, never mind. If this were Ella, it wouldn't happen because Ella doesn't draw aggro using her skill, which is why I actually think that Ella's better, way better than Sword Main. Because Sword Main, it might seem like the enmity draw is useful, but it's actually much bigger annoyance than it seems to provide, in terms of help at least. And of course, Zhao dies. So that's like why I personally like Ella. A lot of people have been saying Sword Main's better than Ella. I completely disagree. The enmity completely screws with PvE. Maybe in PvP, Sword Main is better because I know his shield for a fact lasts longer than Ella's shield, but the aggro drawing is just a hindrance more than advantage in this case. So pretty annoying if you ask me. I think this is just the problem with the free-to-play setup, is without Ella, you have to rely on sword main, and without any real cleansers, you're gonna have to deal with these inconsistencies a lot. So hopefully PA procs. It's been like an hour of video. I felt like I was considering making this a post commentary instead of a live commentary, but I thought it would only take 45 minutes, just like yesterday. Turns out I was wrong. Horribly, horribly wrong. And still no idea. Why does PA keep rocking the heart? It makes no sense. I'm so frustrated. Stop doing that. Please. No. Okay, turn 5, 4 bar HP seems doable, because this is where I got to. Oh, serious? I just jinxed myself again. Alright, Khalid. Please proc. Do it. Thank you. Because I made it up to this point yesterday as well, like 6 bar HP, or 4 bar HP and turn 5 or whatever. But Michael wasn't being dumb, and he didn't keep targeting the stupid heart. So I don't know what's up with him. And he gets silenced, so that means no damage. He doesn't even proc. Oh yeah, by the way, prepare for a lot of shouting at your screen while you're doing this. I've already lost count of how many retries it's been. I feel like it's been 20 already. Yeah, don't be surprised if you're yelling at your screen. Because I know I was going through some pretty rage-induced yelling while I was doing this. I still do. Like this, for example. I don't know why singing this song makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, this is honestly the hardest it's ever been. On my like 4 or 5 weeks of finishing floor 7, this is literally the hardest week for whatever reason. I feel like it might actually be on Michael's damage. Maybe. Because full S2 rank 1, what does that get you in terms of myth? That gets you, I think, 40%? I think like 16 and 24%. Something like that. 40% attack. And I'm running... serious. Okay, I'm bringing in Ione. I can't deal with this anymore. All these inconsistencies, I can't. Why is it taking this long? It makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't even make any sense. This is actually not right. Ugh. Please don't do this. Of course, she will get silenced as soon as I bring her in. And of course the DC too. What just happened? Did my internet die? No. Does that mean I lost all my heroes? Oh wait, no, I didn't. What the hell? So now I have to deal with internet inconsistencies as well. So essentially, what I want to recommend, if you have Ella, and you can afford to pay for a costume, just do it. Life is so much easier. You don't have to deal with this. See all this I'm dealing with? You don't have to deal with any of it if you had Ella with costume. No, I only got stunned. To pray that PA procs, otherwise we're pretty much goners. Thank you, PA. It does mean that Ione can actually see. I think like the problem with putting, I feel like I should have probably put Zhao at the back. I mean like where Ione is, because she's taking like too much damage. Or Ione is targeting Zhao for heals rather than like the center, which means that Michael never gets the heal or like the cleanse at least. So. And another problem is that Ione will always try to like use the Fury if possible. So I think instead what I should have done was set her Fury to like 1 and then like initiative at least to 1 and not have always use skill on. Alright, we finally did it. Jesus. Holy moly. So there you go. Floor 7. Made it. That's pretty much it for this video. It's already been way too long, and in case you guys wanted to see the gear I was using, so Ione is using pretty standard gear. It's actually pretty bad. It's still on Eternal S2 rank 1. Michael is the heavily geared one, I think. But I think his damage is still less. 17% plus 14%. That's like, what, 31%? So actually, yeah, it is actually like 10% less damage compared to full 5-set Myth. So it's actually worse when I upgraded it. PA, oh, actually, yeah, so these two are just 15. This one's at 30 because, you know, I'm gonna try hard. PA's kind of high, really high, so I use a lot of Rune Essence on that. Zhao and Khalid are both running standard gear. It's not anything that requires a lot of Essence. Pretty much no Essence. Like, even this, I didn't use Essence for that. So, I think that's it. Maybe Claire as well, but Claire's, like, the gear is not good at all. So, well, except for that, but she didn't even use her skill. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the floor 7, or floor 6 rather, guide. It is super inconsistent, so I'm hoping that somebody can actually come up with a better strategy for free to play, because I haven't seen anybody like post anything for like free to play. I see a bunch of people like using kind of free to play setups, using like Ella with costume, but that's like cheating in my opinion. Well, not really cheating, it's just not everyone can get her costume, so I mean, kind of out of luck there. So if someone can find a better setup, please post it, because this is the best thing I can come up with. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Peace.